Imagine a situation. You work and earn money, sometimes more, sometimes less. But at the end of the month, it repeats. You run out of money again. You don't understand where it all goes. It feels like you have income, but there are no results. And this is where most people make the same mistake. They think the problem is a lack of money, but in reality, the problem is leaks. In so-called pocket leaks. These are money you already earn, but that quietly disappear. I've seen a huge number of people who said, "I don't have enough money." But when we sat down and analyzed their finances, it turned out to be completely different. They had money. They just didn't know how to manage it. Look, if you get a few $100s, over time, it can turn into thousands. But there is one condition. You must learn how to manage that money. Because if you can't manage small amounts, big money simply won't come to you. Not because of bad luck, but because your financial system isn't ready. You'll just lose more. The secret is not how much you earn. The secret is how much you keep and how effectively you manage what you already have. Now, an important point. Everyone has financial leaks. It doesn't matter if you're employed or run a business. I've seen entrepreneurs making tens of thousands of dollars and still having massive leaks. They thought they needed investments, but when we analyzed, it turned out they already had the money. It was just being lost inside the system. One example. I remember a case. A guy ran a small business. By the end of the year, he had almost no money left. He thought the problem was income, but when he wrote down all his expenses, he found hundreds of thousands of dollars wasted. Not on growth, not on scaling, but on things he could live without. When regular people start tracking expenses, they find someone finds $500. Someone finds $2,000. Someone finds $5,000 or more. Money that could have been starting capital, but instead, it just disappeared. Now the question, what should you do about it? It's simple, but very few people actually do it. First, you need to write down all your expenses. Not approximately, not roughly, but completely. Every payment, every subscription, every small thing. Break your expenses into categories. Monthly, yearly, variable. Second, find your financial leaks. It's not necessarily something big. Most often they are small recurring expenses. Coffee, subscriptions, impulse buys, unnecessary services. They are invisible, but together they become a large amount. Third, calculate the difference. How much you earn and how much you actually need to spend. The difference is your potential, your future capital. For example, you calculated and realized that $200 to $300 is leaking every month. Before, you simply spent it. Now, you don't. Fourth, start saving that money at the very beginning, not at the end of the month, but immediately. As soon as you receive income, set that amount aside. Important, do not touch this money at all, because you used to spend it anyway, which means you can live without it. Fifth, live on the remaining amount, but consciously now. Spend only on what is truly necessary. At first, nothing changes. Then, after a few months, you get your first capital. Then it grows, and then more. And at some point, you realize your financial situation has improved. Not because you suddenly started earning more, but because you stopped losing money. Most people try to increase income without fixing leaks, and that's why they don't move forward. Now imagine the opposite situation. You close all financial leaks. You start managing your money, and only then increase your income. The effect multiplies, because now you are not losing money, you are saving and using it. And one more important point. You should increase your lifestyle proportionally to your income, not earlier. When people start earning more, they immediately start spending more, and they stay at the same level. The correct approach is different. First, control and system. Then, income growth, and only then, expense growth. This is how financial stability is formed. And finally, 90% of people don't need investments, loans, or external money. They need to organize what they already have, because money already passes through their hands. They just don't stay. So after this video, do one simple thing. Sit down and write all your expenses, completely, without self-deception. You will be surprised how much money you already have. And maybe this will become your starting point. Not a new income, but control over your current one. This is where growth begins.